Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So this is the first expansion and only expansion for Orcs Orcs Orcs, but it is entitled Reinforcements Expansion 1. Don't search for Expansion 2. It does not exist. You're going to get some baggies when you open this up. We're going to get a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. And then you're going to get a bunch of stuff. So these will be different stands for the little guys you get. These are going to be the terrain pieces you're going to put down. And you're going to get different ones of these that will activate. They just kind of fit right on the board. And you can kind of see their powers are kind of listed here of what they're going to do. You're going to get any number of these bad guys that will come out. They're all for comical effect. And then you'll have the scoring thing that comes with it. These are very thick, very nice pieces. Very hard to complain about. You're going to get a deck of fate cards, as you can see here, which will activate different regions, etc. on the board, and the different little bad guys that you're going to have here. You can see the whole deck of cards. Any number of tokens. That's about all you're going to get. These little tokens here, they're a little generic, but they do say what's on the back of them and what the actions will be, so they're pretty appreciative for that. Lots of cardboard here. Everything is thick. Everything is very colorful. You can see very kid-friendly, if you will. You can see that how it's the back of them there, but it's the front of them there. I think it's very, very cute. So, excellent job on the components, as Queen always does. So you're going to get 3 of these books in different languages, and each one has 3 modules in it. So module 1 is the fate cards. You can see it'll kind of explain what you do with it. And it has pictures and examples you can see here they're going to have there. So very easy to utilize. Number 2 will be the terrain, and you can add this in. And then the last one's going to be the extra characters, the reinforcements, if you're what it's named after, as you put in. Very easy. Now, you don't need to read this whole book. You know, if you just want to add in the fate cards, just read about the fate card section, and you're ready to go. So each section probably takes 2 or 3 minutes. They can do it. But very simple. I didn't really have any issues while playing. Everything was very simple to be able to utilize as you're going through. Excellent, as Queen always does. They're the standard for rule books for me. The first module is going to be these fate cards, and there are going to be 19 of these, and you'll take out the ones that came with the core box and just kind of shuffle these in and use them. They will show you which areas activate on here, 3 and 4, you know, all of them. And then you have the areas that you'll activate here in the center. Very easy to use. Now, there are a few rules that will be implemented in here. It's going to be a little bit different. That you'll see that you can only attack spells that are in the front section of it. So the mage can only hit those. And then you'll see some of these that have a lower section down here at the bottom, right here. It applies to all players in the game. Right? No special rules are shown, simply no special rules. So sometimes these will come out, there'll be some special rules at the bottom. So that's the fate cards. You can just utilize this deck if you want, but you will get rid of the ones from the core box and use these instead. So the second module is going to be the terrain. This is one I use every single time I play. You have the tendrils. So anytime they're on here, they're going to have 1 damage already done to them. Once they lose, or once they leave, that would come back. But while you're here, all creatures have -1 to their damage. When you're on the stone field, you're going to have +1 to your damage. You're a little bit harder to hit here. Maybe you have something to block you or stand behind is a thematic that's going here. The road is the trickiest one of all. So this is kind of the mirror opposite of each other. The road, nobody can land here. So when you're moving through a space, let's say you're moving through a space like this, you can't stop on the road. So you keep moving. So everybody on this spot will keep moving quicker through. So this makes the game a little easier, makes it a little harder, maybe balances it out if you're using equal one. But this definitely makes it harder as you're going through. And the road is my favorite one because the creature can't stop on it. You're going to keep moving if this is activated. So if you were here and this is activated, you can't stop here. You keep moving. So that progression will keep going. And that's how the 3 different ones work. And these are the 3 reinforcements you're going to get, the 3 new characters. What you have here is a Croco Flyer. He has 3 hit points, which makes it a little harder to defeat than most of the weak people. So that's what you're going to do for him. Nothing really other than he's a little bit harder to kill. Here, you're going to have the Bomber. If he's defeated, all creatures in his section are going to take 1 hit. So it doesn't matter. So he kind of has that bomb attached to him. It's just really fun, very video game-esque. Then you're going to have the Breeding Toad, and he's going to have these little guys that will come out. So here's a totaling tile that you'll have. You'll see here that you'll have this. You inflict 1 point of damage to it. You flip it over and you're going to get the action. In this case, I got a spell power. I gain 1 spell power point of my choice, but they will do different things. You might have one like this. They have here, you get an extra action. So they might make you draw a card, action, spell power, or a creature can lose a life point. So these will give you things that you can pick up, which is kind of neat. There's a little bit of variation to these. Now, my favorite of these is probably the bomb guy. It just reminds me of something I have on a video game, but it's very cool, but very neat one overall. So Orcs 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 Reinforcements Expansion 1. I like the terrain a lot. The terrain is a selling point. It should have been called terrain instead of reinforcements. The addition of the reinforcements will probably be my second, and the fate cards will be my third. I think this is pretty much a necessary expansion. I really like the terrain, and I would add it in every single time. Now, if I were going to keep Orcs, 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 which I was very close to doing, I probably would keep this expansion and have a great time with it. And to me, this is something you really want to add in. That terrain is really, really fun. Everything else, you probably could live without depending on the price of this, but if you can get this at a good price, I would definitely, if you're going to play Orcs, 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 get this involved as soon as possible. The terrain really adds a lot of strategy as you're moving in and moving out and having those things. You really need, especially the road, you really need to plan for that. Having the new characters that come in and how they interact and how they're utilized is really fun and gives you a lot of variety to the game. So good additions to it overall. Queen does a great job on these expansions, and this is one where they knocked it out of the park.